Yeah, I'm outside in an AMG, right outside, TT, two-turn baby girl, you know me.
Yo, what's good? It's Josh again with the Black and the Black podcast, where it's always real, where we don't conceal, and where the truth is revealed. And on today's episode, we have another special guest who is a part of Jacksonville legacy and history, soon to be alumni from that school across the street. I don't really like talking about them, but anyway, Ribault High School, and then he's also a part of the 1,000 Point Club, and he's a future college basketball player, and he's also a part of high school royalty. None other than my brother, Mr. Caleb Williams.
What's up, y'all? What's up? What's up?
What's happening, bro? You good?
Yeah, just got done working out earlier today. Hard
Yeah,
work. How about you?
listen, man. I'm a little tired. Just got back in Jacksonville about a week ago from school, so we done with the first year though. So but yeah,
Yeah.
man. So we gonna jump straight into it. So just tell me about your journey leading up to now.
All right. So I started playing basketball around 5. At the little blacktop league. So I was playing with Alex Fudge. He in the NBA now. So just being on the team with him because I always had to play up. Because like when I used to play with my age, I used to always dominate. One game I scored like 47 points that my mama told me, and I believed her because I was just so ahead of the competition. So I went up and played, and then I went to AAU. AAU started getting crazy around sixth
Mhm.
grade. There was a
Yeah.
lot of battles. I was going out of town, Virginia, all types of places. After that, I went to my middle school journey. Sixth grade, I was little, like 5 foot, so they knew I
Mhm.
had to pass the ball a lot. Get in the gaps, pass the ball. Seventh grade, we won the championship. And eighth grade was my team. We had to come back and win it again. I had to put on for Kirby, now Springfield.
Right.
And then going into ninth grade year, that's when COVID started happening. I'm thinking we ain't gonna have no game, like have no more season. So I'm just kind of frustrated. And then AAU start opening it back up. I'm like, okay. So I started playing summer league with Ribault. Cause my dad a coach, and everybody knew I was going there.
Right.
He was at Reigns. Let me tell you. So I was supposed to go to Reigns.
I remember because I
Yeah,
think your dad was the head coach at Reigns at the time, right?
yeah,
Got
yeah.
you. Okay.
I was supposed to go to Reigns. Then he went to Reebok the last
Okay.
year. So I'm like, okay. So all I grew up was around Reigns. So I'm like, man, I don't want to
Best high
go.
school.
I was like, I don't want to go. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, dang. So I just went to Reebok. A good program. Early college. Feel me? So I just got early college and did what I did. Ninth grade, uh, we played Reigns. It was at Reebok. Uh, we won, but I had a horrible game. I was getting booed. I was small than everybody. I couldn't do what I do. So I know 10th grade I came back with vengeance. Led my team to the second round of playoffs. 11th grade went to the Final Four. 12th grade, the everybody know I'm the best player in the city. So leading points and assists, and winning back to back. So you know, just had to put on a show.
Feel you. So, because me personally, I remember I was at Wolfson my first 2 years of high school, and
Hmm.
then my last two, I was at Reigns, and so um, prior to that, I remember your dad coaching at Reigns because my cousin, who was like one of my basketball inspirations at the time when I was hooping, Coach Stamp, right?
Yeah, facts. Stamp.
Yeah, that's my cousin, one of my first cousins and stuff. And so with him, like I used to go to the games because he used to want me to come and watch high school ball when I was in middle school. And
Mm.
so like with that, I understood like the importance of the game at a young age. And so then I figured out who you were because we were on the same age. And that's when
Mm.
I found out that your dad was the coach. So tell me what does it mean to be coached by your pops? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So like when people be saying like the father son relationship, I really like take key into that because he want me to be the best I could be. Like he'll be on me heavy. Like I come home after games. If I have a bad game, I'll be running away to him. I'll be running to my grandparents because I already know I'm screwed up. Like he for the keep. Hold up, pause. But nah, but he gonna talk to me like heavy cussing me. I was like, man, you should never do this, never did that. But it's all love at the end of the day because I know he want me to
Right.
be the best Caleb I could be and want me to succeed in life.
Right. I feel you. So now, when we talk about playing at Ribault, playing under your dad, you also have a bunch of family that played at high levels. Coach Bannister was my coach
Mm-hmm.
for my junior year and my senior year, and his son, if I'm not mistaken, used to train with his son, and I think y'all
Yes, my
family.
brother.
So
Yes, my.
tell me what it's like coming from a family that is hooping in y'all genes. You know what I'm saying?
You know, I was a bonehead growing up, so like I always thought I was better than everybody. Like I don't know what it was. It was just I was confident. I was probably a little
Right.
brat to everybody eyes. But yeah, we used to work out all the time. I got to head back to Orlando so I could work out with him again. But
Right.
we was working out, and I used to have like a little attitude with him because like he used to want to see the best out of me, and I used to mess up because like he was so advanced at that time, and I was only like 7th, 8th grade, and then all the moves was low key advanced. So I'm doing the move, I mess up, I'd be like, dang, like I'd be mad, and he'd be like, get up, get up, get up. I'd be like, man, be quiet, like I got it. And then he would be mad, and we'd be going back and forth, but it showed like we really wanted me to get better. Like I never wanted to like be the odd man out. I always want to be this guy who I am today. Like when I come to the games now, I come to the games with like kill mentality. Like tomorrow not given. Like I gotta go into college. Like it's like a business. Like
Exactly.
I gotta win. Like right off the bat, ain't no excuses or nothing. I gotta do my job and put on for the city.
I feel you. So now we've talked about, being under your dad, coming from a family that hoops, that's it's in y'all blood, just like mine. Uh, so tell me, like, and we know we're hooping that it just takes a lot of hard work and dedication. Like some days you don't want to play, some days you don't feel like going, some days it's just like I don't even want to be around y'all, but I'm gonna come because I love the game. Like for me personally, I never forget when I first started at Reigns. I told you I was coached by Coach Bannister, and so like
Mm-hmm.
we used to have like 5 a.m. practice, and I was sitting there like, man, I don't feel like getting up. But when I thought about it, it all paid off because it wasn't just about basketball. But tell me, like, what did it feel like every day after all that hard work and all that sweat that you put into it to run out of that tunnel every single day and see all those fans sitting in the audience who was there waiting to see what y'all were gonna do?
It prepared me a lot. All the hard work and dedication always gonna pay off. Last year, I was averaging 13 points, and
Right.
like the whole summer, I was grinding with Deshaun Smith, training right now, and 12th grade year, I knew I was ready. Like I always knew. Like he used to wake me up, bang on my window, like bam, 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 bam. Get up, get up, get up. It's time to go. It's time to go to gym. I'm like, man, I don't feel like doing it. He be like, man, you say you want to go D1. You say you want to go to the NBA. This is what it takes. So I just knew like
Exactly.
I need to stay on it. Like I gotta do it for myself. Nobody gonna make me like get in the gym. So I did everything for myself, and I just locked in.
Exactly. So now speaking of points and you averaging 13 points a game per game, tell me, recently you just hit the 1 point club, you 1,000 point club at Ribault this past season. So tell me, how does it feel to be a part of the 1,000 point club? Because that's something a lot of people are not able to accomplish in their time in high school.
Just it's like it's really a blessing for real because I'm in a situation, a good system for me, to get the shots up and get the points. My teammates trusted me this year, and my coaches trusted me, so I know if I have they trust, I have nothing to worry about. Like they gonna live and die about me shooting the ball, and it paid off.
Exactly. So now I also want to ask you something because I've played against you a lot in these past 2 to 3 years.
Hmm.
We ain't win every single time. We got y'all that last time we played y'all. I want to say district semifinals. We got y'all good that game. But tell me, because I'm curious, who would you say you model your game after? Because you talked about your fast pace, you shooting the ball, living by it. So tell me, who would you say you model your game after?
So I'm out of my game after Damian Lillard. He's
Got
a
you.
killer. Like he's that guy. And then so like it really was phases. Like ninth and 10th grade, I was like, okay, I gotta be point guard Chris Paul type. That was my guy, Chris Paul and Rajon Rondo. But 11th, 12th grade, I knew I had put points on the board. So I started watching Damian Lillard, Kyrie, and there's a young guy named Tyrese Maxey on the Sixers.
Right.
Like, he's like that too. So I just watched them a lot and just key in and just, do my thing and just look at them.
So, okay, now that we're talking about NBA players who you've modeled your game after and you've taken it to the next level, I got two questions right here, right? So my first question is, what are your thoughts on Damian Lillard and this past playoff run that they had? They was cut short, but tell me your thoughts on that.
They needed Giannis, that
Yeah.
whole year they switched it with the coaches. They had I think Griffin first, and they had Rivers. And me personally, everybody say Rivers a good coach, but it's always his stats always go down. Like they had a high offense, like they had the best record in the East, and then suddenly it like flips. So
Right.
like I don't know, but Damian Lillard, he was going through family issues, like he wasn't with his family, and I know what that feel like. I'm going to know what that feel like when I get up there, but he didn't feel like he was home. He didn't feel comfortable in that situation, and it
So
come with the system too. So
exactly. So now, with you being a high school player, you've played on some of the biggest stages, such as the Final Four and so on and so forth. Tell me, like, when it comes to that, like, what do you think it takes for certain players when they're at the highest point, right? What does it take for them to get through and push through to get to where they want to go, as far as winning the championship or so forth?
be themselves. It's just another game, just on a bigger stage. Like you
Right.
gotta go in the game, like it's just another game. My brother's gonna have my back, my coach is gonna have my back, and they're gonna trust me. So me being on that stage wasn't really a problem because I really felt like I was built for it. Like people don't know about the reigns in Ribault, the Ribault in Jackson, that whole Christmas term. They don't know how that feel.
Yeah.
People be saying you suck. When people be saying, oh yeah, we betted on you, saying all that, like it really builds you. So like when we got to that stage, I'm like, man, ain't nothing. The sweat is just a bigger court.
Exactly. I'm gonna be honest, man. Listen, like I said, I came from Wolfson, right? And my family all went to either Reigns or Reebok. And so when I first got into that atmosphere, and like I
Change.
had people, yeah, like I had people in my ear the whole game. You got dudes standing on the side of the court, like, nah, you suck, you suck. And like all this other stuff going on. Then you got your coach trying to tell you to do something. So it's like it's a bunch of stuff going on. So I totally agree with you there. Like it trains your mind and it builds this certain sense of character. So that way, like you could take it to the biggest stage. And then when you get to the biggest stage, it's nothing to you because you've already been on some of the hardest stages there is. So
Yeah.
now, since we're talking about the different stuff that goes into it, I want to take a different route. So we talked about all this other stuff, but what are some of the challenges that you have faced throughout your career thus far? And how have you overcame these challenges?
My challenge has been that ninth grade year, like I'm short, but I don't have no excuse. But I ain't that short, but I'm short. But ninth grade, I'm getting booed. I'm like, oh no, I can't go for that. I'm crying. Like I'm crying. Like, but my senior picked me up. He was like, you got this. Like, we want you to keep showing we trust you. Like, forget about all the outside noise. Like, we're gonna come back next game and you're gonna go off. And
Right.
then ever since that, I just been lifted up. I'm like, okay, I got this. Like, and after that, January from down, it was straight. I had a great season after that.
Wow. Feel you. So now we're talking about you having a great season and all this other stuff. So tell me, what do you believe to be your best game so far in your career?
It's a hold on, I gotta figure one.
Give me
Hold on.
your best game. And
I want.
don't you dare say nothing about Reigns. Don't you dare say nothing about
I did have a double double, but I ain't gonna say too much. I want to say it gotta be the Riverside game this year at First Coast because I hit 8 threes.
Mm,
Or
I saw that
I
one.
want I want to say that last year the Bay game when we played in the playoffs, second round playoffs. It was a going back and forth. I came out hit a three, and then it was at the end of the buzzer, threw it third quarter. I set him up, hit the little step back, hit the shot. Then went in the fourth quarter, came down got fouled, hit the free throws. Then literally next play, I'm going for a rebound. I grabbed it, but somebody came under me and I flipped and hit my neck on the ground. And they said, and like everybody thought it was like it's over. Like I got up, went to the bat. They talking about look at my finger. I'm doing all the concussion protocols. I'm like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
good, I'm good. So I came back in the game and helped my team win the game. That was like one of the best moments because I was like, man, I could fight through anything with this team. Like we really gonna make it. That's when we knew like, oh yeah, we making the state. Like nobody can stand a chance, and that's
Right.
what we did.
Right. Got you. So now, making it to state, we know that y'all didn't win it, but y'all made it. And so for y'all to make it, that says a lot because for the past couple of years, we haven't had anybody for the past decades, really, we haven't had anybody to go and win the state championship
Mhm.
besides the greatest high school there is. But anyways, tell me, what is the end goal for you with basketball?
My end goal is just to be a great player and be a great player in the NBA. Like I know what it takes. I pray God is on my side. I have great support around me. Um, and I have like the strive. Like I have the grind. I have the grit. I have everything that would take for me
Right,
to be in the NBA, get drafted, and be in there. Like when you get drafted, you gotta stay. Like it's gonna be
right,
the hardest thing to stay in there. Like when I heard that and I'm hearing the stories and I'm looking at people's stories, I'm like, yeah, like it's really hard. Like people think it's sweet, like they don't realize like how hard it's like a lot of basketball players, a lot of Division 1 basketball players trying to be going to the draft. Like they declare like Bronny James, LeBron James' son, he
yeah,
declared for the draft.
yep.
And like everybody, and he had a good showing, and he didn't play the whole college year. He had like a little heart problem and whatnot. He went in
So,
there and go kill. So it's like it's a lot of things that go to this NBA love and yeah, NBA and try to stay in there, be a great player.
so now we're talking about Bronny James, right? So when I look at Bronny James's game, right, it's really I see a lot of things like from a hooper standpoint, he doesn't score. He don't get like 30 points a game most of the time.
Mhm.
He don't do all that. But the thing that he does best, he impacts the game in multiple ways. And
Fact.
so he impacts the game whether it be through his leadership, through his vocalness on the court, if when he does talk, with the quick little floaters that he does, or the assists that he makes. It's not because a lot of times people just look at your stat line and say they determine off that if you're a good player or not realizing that your impact on the entire game as a whole truly determines what type of player you are. And so when you talk about yourself and like many people call you Showtime, that's your intro when you come out onto the court. And so tell me, like, what do you believe to be like your biggest impact on the game as a whole when you're playing, not just outside of the stat line and stuff?
Control the game. This year I had to learn how to control it. We go into games. We play rings. We lost the first time we would play rings. And I didn't control the game. And after that, I never made that mistake ever again. I always learn how to control the game. If we're up, we're not losing. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like I had to learn. That's the one thing I learned this year is to control the game. Like this year, everybody left last year. Everybody was seniors, and then two went to Reigns. So I'm like, I'm the only person on my team that played varsity that year. So everybody coming up off of JV, and I'm like, I have a young team, so I'm like, yeah, like we still gonna win. I'm telling them like, don't be depressed or nothing. Like we got this. Like
Right.
when we went a year, we went on a little streak. We lost 2 games, then we went back on the streak. Then when we got to Gateway, we played Riverside. Then when we went to Jackson, it was a hard fought game. At the end, we played real hard. That's when I learned how to take over games too. I remember it was a low scoring game, but I had 33 of the 45 points, 46 points on my team. And I learned how to just take over and control it. Even though we lost, but I learned from the mistakes that I had reigns and it came back the second part of the year. Cause it's really about the second part of the year of high school basketball. That's where districts, gateway, all the stuff started happening. And I just learned how to control.
Great. So now I want to know something because you got on all your college merch, you know what I'm saying, looking clean. So now that you committed to play basketball at the next level, right? I want to know what sealed the deal for you to play at Lafayette College. Am I saying that right first?
Lafayette, but
Lafayette.
yeah, everybody say it like that. But
Okay.
yeah, it's from up north, you know.
Okay.
So really, so I had 4 offers. I had Mississippi Valley State, Alcorn State, Lafayette, and I had EW. I
Right.
had EW. So I went on all 4 visits, and I'm like, okay, what's really gonna make me get to the next level? Like, I know HBCU is like a good way to go to school, but me personally, I ain't gonna be the type of person to succeed in that type of environment. So
Got you.
I knew like I gotta stay focused because my dream is to make it to the NBA. So I
Right.
know I'm at a college that's gonna work hard, 24-hour access. I'm gonna get a good grades. You know, you gotta stay. This is a Patriot League school, so you gotta have good grades. You can't slack off. It's gonna build my connections with the outer world because all about building connections at the end of the day. Uh, and yeah, it was a good coaching staff. They got a good team. I'm coming in, you know, young, ready, you know, ready to play. And yeah, just determined to be great.
I got you. You know, it ain't nothing like a HBCU, but listen, bro, I'm just happy that you going to school because there's a lot of guys from my city that ain't doing nothing with their life after they left high school basketball. They just stand at their mama couch. And me personally, I like to call stuff out like that because it's like I can't deal with stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
Mhm.
man. But now that we're moving on to a different section. So tell me, like, we've talked about you being at Ribault, being this star player at Ribault, even though like I heard but you graduate from Ribault soon. And many know you for playing in between the lines. We all know that. But outside of the basketball lines, you were on Ribault's Royal Court. So tell me, why did you decide to enter into the pageant?
It wasn't really me. My mom planned for this. So like every year I went homecoming because you know why not?
Right.
Why not go for homecoming? And then it was my junior year in the middle of basketball season, middle of our run, and she was like, "You doing the pageant?" I'm looking at her like, "No, I'm not." And she was like, "You're doing the pageant," and I was like, "No, I'm not." Watch. I walked straight in that meeting room for the Royal Court. The practicing was like crazy. I ain't gonna lie. It was different. It was a whole different type of environment, and I wasn't used to that. I wasn't feeling comfortable at first because you know everything is so like you gotta dance, you gotta do show business, and that's not me. Like I'm an athlete on the court, and I'm sweaty, like all that, like I'm
Yeah,
dirty and stuff. But you gotta be so clean, you gotta walk clean, you gotta be clean, you gotta speak clean, you gotta do everything right.
exactly.
Um, you gotta be a respectable role model, like and like when I learned how to do that, but it was a lot of challenges that helped me for my life. Like I build new connections. Um, my one of my best friends on the court. You
I
know,
got you.
it was a lot of exposure, a lot of more faces that I knew off of the court. I
Right.
knew it was a lot of challenges, like being sick during the whole pageant. That whole pageant, that was sick, and I
Yeah.
was
I
dying.
remember that because I was
Yeah,
with Willie B. Hall and
yeah,
he
really.
was like he just got over his sickness and I was like and he went out there and still did it. Me and Sierra, we were sitting in the front row and
Mhm.
stuff like that, one of the front rows. And I was like, man, I was like, props to you because I wasn't sick on my day, but
Mhm.
um, but now talking about Royal Court, one of the main things that we do in Royal Courts, I was a mister, so I take great pride in it, is that we do a lot of community service. So tell me, like, what was some of the community service that you did, and what did you gain from these experiences through community service?
I did the one we doing right now still with the elementary mentoring program. I'm a star at Rutledge Pearson. You know, go up there with the fourth graders. You know, they a little bad, but you know, just build connections with them and seeing them like how high schoolers are, how they gonna be walking their lives like they gonna go to middle school and it's gonna go by quick. like everything went by quick for me. So they see I think I'm a role model to a kid there. His name Cornelius. You know, that's my little guy. You know, that I be sitting down at the table with talking and writing his goals down for 5th grade. You know, and he really excited for it. We did a lot. We did community service with the Thanksgiving, with the turkey, collard greens, everything. We did pass it out with your Royal Court, Rain's Royal Court. Uh, what else? Oh, we did church events at what's that church downtown? Bethel
Oh,
with
that's
the
my church.
yep.
Listen, listen. I'm going. I'm going tomorrow. Don't worry about it. I'm going tomorrow.
The shoe drive. It was like a little shoe drive for like I ain't gonna say homeless, but unfortunate people in unfortunate situations. We gave out the little shoes, the clothes. You know, I gave somebody my rubber band because he liked it, and I just gave it to him because it's like, you know, you gotta always help bring back to the community. Like I always want everybody to succeed, and I never want to put on nobody downfall. So, you know,
Yeah.
you just
So
gotta be
now,
great.
so now that we talked about all the stuff that you've done with this community service thing through the Royal Court, what we talked about lessons that you learned from basketball, but what's some lessons that you learned while being on the Royal Court?
I learned that uh, I learned that you just gotta, you know, everybody looking at you, and you know you gotta do the right thing all the time. Um, Learn how to build connections, learn how to talk to people, and like during the pageant, I had to learn how because I always used to be like, people don't know I'm really like shy for real. Like you gotta see how I am, but I had to
Right.
command my voice. I had to talk loud, you know, be masculine. Like you know how you stand. You gotta stand
Yeah.
like you. Yeah, all them. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was crazy. Yeah, that's the only thing I learned. That's the things I learned in the pageant.
Because
So,
for me, I think I could say for both of us, uh, I enjoyed talking a lot. Well, if you ask some of my coaches, they're gonna say we ain't talk enough. But I think when we was on the court, I truly enjoyed talking more. I feel like that's when I was able to use the commander inside of me, like so on and so forth. But then once I got back into pageantry and like public speaking again, that's when I started using my voice more. So I think pageants just have a big plus that really help you with a lot of your professional advancements and your future career opportunities. So now on another note, with you being a leader at Ribault, I want to know your thoughts because the school is getting ready to be rebuilt.
mhm.
Well, it's in the process now, and so it's supposed to be a state-of-the-art campus. And so, what are your thoughts on this new change that's coming to the Ribault community?
It's gonna be great. I feel like everybody gonna strive off the new school. It's gonna be a lot of new activities going on with that school. It's a bigger school. It's gonna be just a great, great community. It's gonna be great. You know, Reigns and Reebok communities is like really great because that's really the true pride of the North Side. I always think like
Right.
we together, like we one. You know what I'm saying? Like, I
Exactly.
never get split up. Like we say we across the street, that little week be crazy, but
Right.
we always together. Like everybody went to Reebok Middle, or everybody went to Reebok Middle, or went to
Northwest.
yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna
Yeah,
be great.
I truly can say like we may joke with each other like about like the Reigns and Reebok rivalry, and when it comes to the games and stuff, like we may talk a lot of trash on the court, but at the end of the day, it's like one big family, and so like then you get to get two guys who are doing great with their lives to come and sit down and do an interview like this. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
it's just wonderful. Now tell me, one of my last questions about pageantry is if you could, what would you tell future kings and queens for the future?
The Royal Court, it built a lot of connections. It helped you with your resume for scholarships for college.
Yes.
Because people gonna need them scholarships. Uh, it's just a good thing. You're gonna learn a lot from it. You're gonna be around great people. You're gonna learn how to project your voice and learn how to command the room, learn how to be your own boss. You're gonna learn a lot of things that's gonna help you later on in life.
Exactly. Okay, so now um we're gonna move on to something a little more personal, right? So um I just wanted to ask you this one question, right? Since we talked about all your successes and all the stuff that you've been able to do and everything else, right? What would you tell a younger Caleb, when he was discouraged? Because even though our childhoods are amazing, we still have moments where we're discouraged or anything. So what would you tell a younger Caleb?
Start early. Like, don't wait on nobody. Like, don't get discouraged on what other people think about you. Always know that you're that guy, and be you. Like, don't be like somebody else. Like, you see what they have. Like, I used to be like one of those. Like, oh yeah, he got this and that. He got that offer. He playing on that team, and like I always want to be like that. And like my journey was just crazy. So that's the one thing I'll tell myself is don't be like nobody else. Is be on your journey, be on your path, and be great.
Got you. So, man, on Blacker Than Black, the best podcast, by the way. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
we do this thing before we leave because we at the end of our time. But we do this thing before we leave that we give one piece of inspirational advice for the next week. So, if you could, what is your inspirational advice for this next week for all the listeners?
Work hard, and you're gonna get a lot of things handed to you in life. Like you got to take it. You can't wait on nobody to give it to you. God is always on your side, and always, and yeah, God always on your side. Like I just had to see it this year. I seen it all my life. Like it's just been a crazy. It's been a crazy journey, and the journey is gonna still going. So for all the people out there, work hard, and you gonna take everything in life.
Got you.
Yeah.
So I do mine too. And so I just I'm trying. I always come with something, and I always forget what I'm gonna say right when it's time. And I need to start
Mm-hmm.
writing it down on my iPad. But one of the things that I've been doing lately, I always have been a reader. Like I just feel like reading it gives you knowledge, so that way you can pour knowledge into other people. And so at my school, we got these books. My roommate gave me this book. It's about Dr. King's life, and so King is the book is called King a Life. And so in the book, it's starting out, talks about Dr. King and his family. And so then it talks about Jim King, which is Dr. King's great granddad. And then it talks about Martin Luther King Sr. And so it talked about Jim King and how he was attacking this white lady because of how Martin Luther King Sr. was being treated. And so when it talked about this, I was puzzled. I'm like, why are we starting with this? And so it led into the point of why the King family became ministers. And so Jim King, he got frustrated and he started drinking alcohol because of all the frustrations that was going on. And so it led to him to become a minister because he wanted to spread God's gospel. And so my point is that sometimes certain situations cause us to deter from what we thought was our plan, but in the end, it leads to God's plan for us. And so you
Right.
just may never know what's going to happen. And so my plan, my thing that I want to talk about is just like make sure that we stick to God's plan, even though it may seem like we want to go another route. Because honestly, I may keep doing this podcast, going to journalism, and think I'm going into journalism, but I may end up in something totally different. And
Mhm.
so it's so imperative and critical for us to realize that God is the ultimate denominator for us when it comes to our life and what we want to do in the end. And so I just
Mhm.
think that we should really hone our skills and listen to God's voice because in the end, He has the final say for our life and for our destiny. But yeah, man, you know, I'm so glad you came on. We listen, y'all. We've been trying to do this for the past month. As soon as I found out he committed to his school, I was like, okay, we got to get him on. And we kept chopping it up, like, when we gonna do it? When we gonna do it? But man, we finally got him on. So I'm so grateful that you came on. Make sure you tell your mom and your pops and everybody I said hello, by the way.
Yes.
But man, I'm so grateful that you came on, man.
Yes,
So
sir. Thank you for having me.
yes, sir. So before we leave, I just want to shout out a couple of my people. Chase again, even though he didn't help me today, he always makes sure I'm good, and a couple of my other friends who constantly reiterate the importance of what I'm doing here. And so, with that being said, I want to thank you again, brother, for coming on today. Great conversation. You did a wonderful job, man, and so I'm just so super grateful. And then also, I want to give a special thank you to our audience. Even if you've been rocking with us from the jump, or if you just stopped by today, I truly, truly, truly thank you. But as always, It has been a pleasure to be with you guys again. And this has been Josh with the Blacker Than Black podcast, where it's always real, where we don't conceal. And today, the truth was revealed. I'll see y'all next time. And I love y'all. Peace.